The 2025 LA Galaxy season is essentially over. We are officially eliminated from MLS Cup contention, and the only trophy that's really up for grabs at this point is the Campeones Cup, which, for the record, we're not winning versus Toluca. At the time that this video is being recorded, we have yet to play against that game, but I'm fully convinced that we're not winning it. But even if we do win it, then I will admit that will be something.
Several days later.
Told you. But the point of this video is just to share my reaction over the atrocious season that 2025 has been for the LA Galaxy. I mean, I know that there's just several elements that happened this year that absolutely killed this MLS Cup winning squad. For starters, it's the reinforcements that we did this year. In the winter transfer window, we had to sell several of our starting players because of the salary cap. Now, I get that that's been a thing for MLS for a while now, but the fact that the Galaxy failed to get some decent replacements for these players, for me, was just a complete failure. For example, Matthias Jorgensen ended up being a complete flop in the defense, a complete failure of a replacement for Jalen Neal, and Christian Ramirez failed to meet up expectations up in the attack. If you're seriously telling me that Christian Ramirez was going to be a good replacement for Dejan Joveljic, nah. Another thing that I also don't understand how exactly happened for this year is the fact that the passion and the fighting spirit was absolutely nowhere to be seen in this LA Galaxy team. And I want to know what exactly happened that killed that. What happened that absolutely diminished the fighting spirit and the passion that this team had in the 2024 season? I mean, was it on Greg Vanney? Did he lose the locker room? Did he lose the sight of that team mentality, of that mindset? I know that when it comes to blaming managers, that's like the easiest thing to do for any football fan. It happens all the time. Always blame it on the manager. Easier said than done, even though we don't know that that's not exactly how it works. And this case scenario is no exception. But I fail to believe that Greg Vanney does not have at least partially the fault for this complete failure of a season. And for any Galaxy fans who are watching this, you guys cannot disagree with me, because I know that there's been several complaints from Galaxy fans over any tactical decisions that Greg Vanney put on the field throughout this season. Just a quick reminder, even though he has won MLS Cup with the Galaxy, he is also giving us our two worst years in club history, that being 2023 and 2025. And just for the record, this is turning out to be the worst season in LA Galaxy's history. We're literally breaking the record than what originally was the worst year back in 2017 and then in 2023. Nope, it turns out we are actually getting even less amount of points than what the Galaxy got in those horrible years from 2017 and then 2020 and of course 2023. The Galaxy are legitimately on the road to finishing dead last, not only in the Western Conference, but also in the MLS Supporters Shield. So again, I just completely don't understand what exactly went wrong. That's the question that I would love to ask Greg Vanney and the rest of the board. What exactly went wrong? Was it the fact that Ricky Puig got injured and was out for the rest of the season? Was it because we sold several of our starting players? Did that affect the rest of the team? I want to know what exactly went wrong, because it still baffles me that this team went from one of the best teams in the league to now what is essentially going to be the worst one in the history of the club and maybe even the league. I don't know about that one. Now, I understand that some specific players like Elijah Winder and Mateus Nascimento probably need some more time to get more comfortable with the team maybe. Like, I understand with Dejan Joveljic, it took some time for him to finally lock in and become a lethal striker, so maybe that could be the same case with Mateus Nascimento. But the rest of the signings that the Galaxy did this year have been completely abysmal and honestly is downright ineffective. I mean, throughout the season, they barely did any effect to the team. So yeah, I know there's just several elements that got implemented into this year that completely killed off the LA Galaxy from being an MLS Cup winning team once again to now being back to rock bottom in a span of a year. I mean, that for me is just still mind-blowing. My only hope is that things do not repeat itself. I feel like I am speaking for all LA Galaxy fans when I say that the last thing that we would want is another 10-year run without a single trophy. But on the other hand, I do believe that the odds of that happening is probably minimal, mainly because the Galaxy are now under a new management, with Will Kuntz being the new general manager and Tom Braun being the new president of business operations in the club. So of course that does mean that there's a high chance that history will not repeat itself. I just hope that 2025 is not the beginning of a new dark period for the club. I really hope that the Galaxy can improve in 2026, which I think they will. But again, fingers crossed, because a lot of changes need to happen in the offseason. But I do think Will Kuntz will do his best and will do as much work as possible to reinforce his team properly to get it back where it's supposed to be. So again, here's hoping for a much better 2026 season, and hopefully 2025 can be at least one of the last of the worst years for the LA Galaxy, at least for the foreseeable future. So anyway guys, that will be it for me. I know that this was really more of a rant, so I do apologize for that. But honestly, I just wanted to share my reaction to the 2025 season for the LA Galaxy, my season in review, if you will. And with that being said, those were all my thoughts on the matter. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.